Before we get into this video, I want to quickly tell you guys about my Patreon. It is the platform that I've been using for quite some time, and it is how I was able to do this full time. If you appreciate what I create over here, please consider supporting me over on Patreon, where I upload exclusive content that only exists on there. On Patreon, I upload a lot of personal vlogs, really just some self-reflective things about both my work life and my personal life. I've grown a lot from the conversations I've had with a lot of my Patreon members, and I am so thankful for the people that have joined me over there and supported me for years, especially the people who support me on the level of producer. You guys are so amazing. It means an awful lot to me that you guys are doing that and helping me continue to do this. You can find the link to my Patreon in the description box of this video. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. I know that there are probably some people who hate when I make content like this, but I am an AI hater. I'm not going to act like at this point in my life there aren't some little areas here and there where AI is something that I, if not intentionally use, is unintentionally used through some of the things that I do. But I'm not a huge fan of it. And this story is actually a pretty good example of why that is. This is a story about a man who was falsely arrested because of AI. This is an article from CDL Life called "Trucker Wrongly Detained Through Casino's AI Identification Software, Now Suing Officer After Settling Suit with Casino." A trucker wrongly detained by police after a casino's AI identification software incorrectly flagged him is pursuing a lawsuit against the police officer after settling an initial suit against the casino. Jason Killinger, a truck driver for UPS, went to the Peppermint Mill Casino in Reno, Nevada on September 17, 2023, after completing a trip for his trucking job. As he entered the Peppermill, the casino's AI identification software identified him as a 99.9% match to someone previously trespassed from the location, Michael Ellis. The AI considered Killinger a 99.9 match based on their face alone, despite discrepancies such as considerable height and weight differences and eye color reported. So I have not watched Lindsay Ellis's newest video about body cam footage on Nebula, so unfortunately I have not yet adjusted this habit of mine, but I do occasionally watch EUW's channel. I guess I am a person who sort of occasionally enjoys true crime content, and this one came up into my feed and it was truly baffling, and I wanted to show it to you.
Very peculiar. Peppermill has this pretty sophisticated artificial intelligence software that analyzes faces of previous trespassers, and they get a 100% match on this guy who, whenever they trespassed them before, presented an ID that had a different name. They look like the same exact guy.
I am not Mike. I don't know nothing about Mike.
So either he is who he says he is, and he's not have ever actually trespassed, which I doubt because their software is pretty cool, and the fact that he's acting super suspicious. I'll be 100% honest. Could legitimately be you have a doppelganger wandering around.
Well, unless I've gone crazy, I'm pretty sure it's not me.
So what's going on?
So we got this alert, prior trespasser.
Okay.
And we made contact with the rest of it, and he claimed that wasn't him. And
What does my
so
name
we're just
say?
trying to get you guys to make a phone call if it's really him or not.
So what's the issue, you guys? Did he have a different driver's license or a secondary one, or has he got more property than just this one?
A few months earlier, a man named Michael had been trespassed from the casino for sleeping on the premises.
All right, man. So this is who you are?
Yes. What, Miss Jagger is your first name or last name?
Last name.
All right, Mr. Jagger. Yes, that is who I am. I drive the semis for UPS. I am not Mike. I don't know nothing about Mike. I'm a craps player here. Look, there's my socks for UPS. Can you please, you got a gun here. Will you please take me out of these cuffs? My shoulders are killing me.
You're going to sit there for a minute, man. So when he gave you this information, did you guys verify it against an ID, or how does that work?
So in that report there's an ID on there as well. I can show you that one.
Jason, a long combination vehicle driver, had been playing craps until about 3 a.m. when he decided to leave the Peppermill and go to the Atlantis casino. On his way out, he stopped at a blackjack machine and started playing. There, he was approached by a security guard who addressed him as Mike. When Jason clarified that he was not Mike and presented the guard with his driver's license, the guard apologized and walked away. However, as Jason attempted to leave, he was surrounded by security guards and handcuffed. He was told that he was under arrest for trespassing.
So that's the ID that he presented. Oh, B.
Look at the nose.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. Very weird.
The casino's AI facial recognition software positively identified Jason as Michael, the man they had trespassed.
They don't even look
Step
similar.
out this way, get better reception.
The only thing that was weird is to go out, lift him up and see how tall he is. Yeah. He's 5'9", and that's a 6'1".
This isn't the only difference between Michael and Jason's IDs.
They don't look at
Jason
all alike.
is listed as 7 years younger than Michael and says that he weighs 50 pounds more. As well, the signatures are different. In his report, Officer Jagger wrote, quote, "The associated demographics on each driver's license were fairly similar, with the only major distinction being hazel and blue eyes, which are by their very nature similar eye colors and are dependent upon lighting."
And then we have our new system, our new facial recognition system, and that's what it's telling us. It's telling us that it's looking at it, and it's doing that. And then there was another one that came up when he was at our TRK, which is one of our better cameras. This was right before we arrested him. We looked at it and said, "That's him," and it came up
100%. Okay.
100% match.
Yeah. So the software is saying it that it's legit.
Right. And it's
so he
pretty damn accurate.
Fuck the software.
So either he presented a fake identification the first time, or he's presenting it now.
Right.
Even if he had a twin, it wouldn't be 100%
Oh my God.
on the facial, right?
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know, because they say twins share DNA, right?
But
I guess it depends
Oh my
upon if
God.
they're
Like,
identical.
I've seen
Like, when you look at these pictures, they don't look anything alike. Like, yeah, they're both white men who, are a little portly or whatever, but, like, it's not the same look. It's not the same V-Bay, And it's really weird to me that this guy's so convinced. And I think this is what's so scary to me about AI. Killinger presented a Nevada Real ID, a Nevada CDL, his Peppermill playing card, and even offered to present pay stubs, his vehicle registration, bank cards, and union card. But Officer Richard Jagger still believed that Killinger was lying. Jagger even accused Killinger of having a connection at the DMV, allowing him to obtain fraudulent IDs. In Jagger's experience as a police officer, he has encountered situations where real IDs were fake or obtained by fraudulent means. City Attorney Alice Hemsfromere wrote in a court file, "A person who has obtained a fake ID will often have other documents and additional forms of identification that match the fake ID. Accordingly, the fact that a person may have multiple forms of ID bearing the same name does not necessarily mean that the IDs are legitimate." Officer Jagger deals with criminal elements and people who lie to him on a daily basis. Therefore, he has been trained to carefully scrutinize information that is presented to him by a suspect. Killinger was held for 11 hours before he was finally released. Now Killinger says he was wrongfully arrested and had his constitutional rights violated. The suit against the officer also claimed that Jagger lied during the investigation. Deputy Reno City Attorney Jill Drake continued to look for ways to prosecute Killinger even after the case was dismissed. Killinger offers direct evidence of fabrication. Killinger contends his 14th Amendment rights were violated when Jagger fabricated, omitted, and mischaracterized statements he made in his arrest documents to make it falsely appear that Killinger had no way to prove his identity, presented no credible evidence of his identity, and offered conflicting pieces of identification, his attorney wrote. Jagger knew that the statements he made in his arrest documents were false. Killinger has already settled a suit against Peppermill Casino for an undisclosed amount. A body cam video of his arrest can be seen here. So if you want to watch that whole video, I will link it in the description box below, but I watched it and he did indeed insist that this AI was accurate. And it's really frustrating to me that this is the position that we're in, because I really do feel like sometimes with AI, people will do this thing where They treat it like it's a god that knows everything. And so instead of using their common sense, they lean into AI, and then, of course, they're shocked when it turns out not to quite be true. It's frustrating. You look at these two pictures, and they very obviously do not look like each other. But because the AI said so, suddenly he needs to be put into cuffs and rounded up and taken to jail. It is ridiculous. And I think that it's incredibly unwise for casinos to use technology like this that frankly is not up to par, is not up to snuff, and can't probably give you an accurate understanding of the situation. I think stuff like this is going to become more and more common, and I wanted to draw attention to it because it was something that really truly baffled me when I saw it the first time. What do you guys think about businesses potentially using AI as a way of locating people who have been poor to the business? I think that it is more likely to be inaccurate than not, so I am not a huge fan of it, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say, so please leave a comment for me in the comment box below. On that note, I hope you guys stay hot and introspective, and always remember and never forget that you are beautiful and you are loved. Bye!